Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to problem solving session for NPTEL course Problem Solving through Programming in C. This is week 7 and I'm Nikita. So for as we do every week, we are going to have 10 quiz questions. That is multiple choice questions. Usually you'll be given a program and you have to tell that what will be the output of that program. And after that we have 4 programming problems where I will ask you to tell me the logic of the program, and you can also tell me which program constructs like C language constructs like loops or etc. will you be using to write the program. uh, let's make the session interactive. I want you to try to answer the questions, uh, even if you are not sure that the answer is correct. Please still try to answer it. Okay, so let's come to the problem number 1. This is a multiple choice question, which asks that which of the statements are false. So the first statement is array elements are stored in memory in contiguous locations. And second statement is an integer array always terminates with null character.
Option A.
We are asked which of the statements are false.
B. Option B.
Yeah, okay. What is contiguous locations?
One element next to another.
Yeah, they are uh, located like in the memory, they are located next to each other. That's right. And the second statement is false because an integer array does not need to terminate with a null character. Okay. So what does terminates with a null character?
String.
Yeah, strings need to terminate with a null character. So only statement 1 is true, second is false, so the answer is B. Now the second question is, if two strings are identical, then string compare function returns.
Option A.
Okay. Others?
0. Option B.
Yeah, so the correct answer is actually option B, 0. So when two strings are identical, then string compare returns 0, otherwise it returns non-zero. This is a little counterintuitive, but that's what the library function string compare returns. This one, okay. Which of the following, so this is problem 3, which of the following function is more appropriate for reading in a multi-word string? A multi-word string means
Yes. Yes.
okay, get us. Okay, what is the difference between scanf, getS, and other two, printf, puts? Why getS?
Because gets function is scanf.
Okay, one of you. Arati, is your name, am I pronouncing it correctly? Can you please tell me your name?
Actually, gets function takes the full word. On the other hand, scanf takes particular word.
Sorry, getS takes.
Full word.
What is a full word?
For example, Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi, that is considered a string S1 is equal to Mahatma Gandhiji. So if I use gets function, it will print Mahatma Gandhiji. On the other hand, scanf prints only Mahatma.
Okay. So when there is space in between, then at that time scanf will take only till there is a white space or a tab or something, right? Blank or tab or a carriage return, only till that it will take the input. After that it does not. While getters takes the input until it finds a new line character or a end of file character. So that's the difference between the two. And as you correctly said, if we have, say, if this is the line, which of the following function tells string, if this is the input, then scanf will only read which, while getters, if it is /n, which is new line terminated, then getters will read the whole line. Is that clear to others?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so problem number 4, what will be printed after execution of the following code?
40.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, 40.
Okay. Others?
40, ma'am.
Okay. So can one of you, Malam, can you explain why is it 40? Okay, Rohit?
This one is because our compiler treat it as a asterisk of 3 plus a.
Yeah.
As we know that a is the address of first element of that array, and in that we add 3.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is the pointer we use compiler by using this transaction.
Yeah, so if we write 3 and then square bracket a, that is same as writing a square bracket 3, because all we are doing is, here is, as he said in the, you can check the comment also. So it's like, we are going to add a, we are going to add 3 to a and then dereference that pointer, which will give us 40. Okay, so if there is no question here, let's move to the next problem. So what will be the output of this program? Write your answer.
Array. Option
Option
A.
A.
Okay. Yeah. Why is it option A?
Because
Because-
it terminates with null character.
Yeah, right. So a string terminates with null character. So since we have a null character here, so the compiler will, as soon as it sees the null character, it is going to terminate it. That is what is going. So when you are trying to print the string using the str, then the printf function here actually prints only till it sees the null character, so which is this. So it is going to print only the array, which is option A. Now this question,
Ma'am, what if you
yeah,
अगर हम इसको पुट से प्रिंट करना चाहें तो
it should be same because a string is null terminated. I think it should be same. I would like, that's the difference between printf and puts. That's what we need to see then. Let's see, because I'm not sure. It says puts is simpler than printf, but be aware that the former automatically appends a new line. If that's not what you want, you can, if puts very useful.
Yes, ma'am, it works as the same.
Yeah, it's saying that so these comments are saying that essentially the difference is that printf adds a first you can write like format. It is interpreted as a formatting string, and then it adds a new line character also, while putS may not add that.
Okay.
What if message? Okay, let's go back. Okay, what will be the output of this program? Please write it in the chat box. Like you can just write A, B, C, D. Don't write entire.
Option C.
Okay. Others?
I
Yeah.
think strcpy return integer value.
No, it returns a character pointer to the destination string. Pointer to the destination. So here first is the destination. This is the destination, this is the source. And it copies the value from source to destination and then returns the pointer to destination.
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, so option C is correct because strcat is the string concatenation function. So what it does is that it is going to take the two strings which are given as input and concatenate them. Okay, that is basically it will just join them without any adding any new characters. So now what this will return is a new string which is programming language, which is this programming language. Now that string is getting will be copied in str2, okay, by the string copy function, and the string copy function then returns the pointer to the string 2. So when we print now string 2, because it was copied from string concat out strcat output, it will print programming language.
Okay.
Is that clear to others? If not, I can use the whiteboard.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Others? And does anyone have any doubt? Okay, let's move then. So answer is option C. Why is this coming? Okay, so what will be the output of this program? So here we have for string.
Option.
Can you write it instead of saying it? Write it in the comment.
Op,
I'm asking you to write because I want others to also try. So first we have here a array of characters or str1. Then there is this array of second, which is an array of characters, and we are using two different notations here to initialize them. And then we are computing the size of these two arrays using the size of operator. n1 and n2, and then it is asking you to print n1 and n2. Okay. Any answers? Yeah, I see one answer in the comment. Anyone has any other answer? Okay, so the answer is option B here. And let's just go to the whiteboard. Then why is it? So first we have here string 1. Okay, and then we have string 2, which is initialized like this. So this first the first string array here, it is stored in memory actually, like this, like it will be, one second, I don't need to make this, but it will be stored in memory like this, because it's as a null terminated string, because we are using this notation here to initialize it. So when we use this double quotes, it's going to append it with this null character here, and so this is what is going to be stored in string 1. Okay, str1. While in str2, it doesn't, it's basically stored like this, like in normal array, without terminating it with a null character. So when you use the size of operator on str1, it's not string length. So when you use the string length function strlen, and you give it as a string as input, it actually gives you the number of characters in the string except the null character here. Okay, so it will return here like the length of this string is actually, it has 8 characters, so this will return here 8, while size of str1 will return 9, which is including the null character. Okay, and size of, can you just now tell me what will be these two? But I think I can't even apply it here. So what will be the size of str2?
8.
Yeah, so it will be 8. There is no null character here. Now, can we use string length on str2? What will it give? Any answers? I think it should. Basically, since it is string length function, counts the number of character till the null, so there is no null here. So it shouldn't give 8. it can be some arbitrary value depending on the memory content. That's what I think. Let's find it out. Str length. Maybe. What is it written here? Str length of 20. Maybe I have to see.
two times. Whatever it is, we are
Then printf. The printf also should try to since it's an array, it's not like a string. It's actually not a string. Percent f and also it should print until it is a null tag. We have to give comments. And the first person just needs this. Stored in memory. After that, we are stored in memory.
तो मैंने भी चेक किया था, तो STR पर था मैंने तो W में जा रहा था और इसीलिए STR ले यूज करने पे 16 दिखा रहा था, मैं इसको 2 बार ऑपरेट कर रहा था.
I don't understand your explanation. Yeah, so see, I changed this to see out. Okay. What I'm saying is that in memory, the way the content is stored is str2, str1. So since str1 is not terminated, so when you give it the pointer to str2, which is the beginning of the str2, that is this I, it will count till it sees that null character, which is soon after t. So that's why it will print the number of characters as the number of characters in string 2 plus number of characters in string 1. It depends on the memory layout. In this particular program, when it is being run, it is like this. It's not what as a programmer, you are deciding it's what the compiler did, because there are two variables here. So usually these variables are stack allocated. They will be added in the stack. So on the stack, they're stored like this, like uh, stack goes downwards. Yes, stack goes downward, so it would be str1, str2. They will be stored like this. And we go to the whiteboard. We will start fresh. So there are two variables in our program here. One is string1, which is a null terminated string, and str2 is actually not a string, it's just an array of characters. Null terminated string. Strings are always null terminated. Null terminated. I could simply have written string here, that would have been fun, but just for clarification, let's see. So in your program, these variables are local. So local variables are allocated on the stack. So if this is your program's stack, you understand stack? It's okay. So stack means, stack is basically a region of memory in your program. This like a region of memory for your program where it is going to store the variables. Okay, so the variables are stored somewhere in memory, right? So local variables are stored on the stack. So so a stack goes downwards, means when you say push, I really don't know whether you will understand or not, but okay, let me not use all those terms here. Just simply I'll just say that string 1 is like stored here and string 2 is stored here. Okay, so what is string 2? It's like I love C, that's stored here, and string 1 is I love C, null terminated. Okay, so now when you read this, what it does is that you say, okay, print, you're saying it printf string 2. String 2 is what? String 2 is actually the address of this first character here. So what does it do? That it is going to start printing like this. But it doesn't see any null character here. So it continues printing the string 1 also. And now here when it sees the null character, it stops. So it's actually not undeterministic. It is deterministic that it is always going to print string 2 and then this string 1. It is because there are only two local variables. If you add some other local variable in your program between these two here, anything if you add, that will also get printed. We have deviated a lot from the original question, I think, but my doubt originally here was that I'm trying to answer is that what will the str length function return if you give it str2, string 2 as an input. So it will not give you 8. That's what I want to say. It will not give you 8 because the str length function will keep counting the characters until it hits a null character. So when you are here trying to print str length of string 2, it actually counts all the characters in str2, then str1, and then it will print that value. While the size of operator, that actually is not going, it doesn't look for the null character. It will give you the size of that array. Okay, so the size of str2 will give you the size of this array, which is 8 characters. And similarly, the size of str1 will give you 9, because there are 9 characters in this array or in this string. Is there any question? Is it clear or not? There's a question of
Yeah.
LeetCode. Yeah, LeetCode is that last interval. And then the SQL is so str2 is not the topmost element in the stack here. It's seen because what you're saying is that first str1 will be pushed and then str2 will be pushed. But actually in your program, that's what I meant to say here, that in your program actually the stack grows downwards. Answer I'm giving to Shrivani. So actually the program stack goes downwards, and that's why even though you pushed str1, then str2 is pushed, because they are pushed in downward order. But when you read, then you read upward. Okay. So it grows downwards, and when you try to pop, you're going to pop str2 first and then str1. And and also when you want to read, you will read upwards. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the output of this program, like coming back to here. So the first string is of size 9, the second string is of size 8, and the size of string 1 and the square bracket 0, that means the size of the first here the first character, the first element in this string. The first element in this array. So the element in the array are characters, and the size of a character is 1. So dividing by 1, we are dividing by 1 in both the cases. So n1 and n2 are both equal to the size of string 1 and size of string 2 respectively, which is 9 and 8. So the answer is option B. Now let's come back. If there is any doubt, then just let me know. Otherwise, let's move to the next problem. So again, what will be the output of the program, and you can write your answer in the chat box.
It will print factorial of 6.
Others?
$720.
Yeah. Okay. Right. That's the answer. So Malam and Shivani, do you understand the program? Okay, so here we have a integer array. Name is num, which is of size 6, and elements in the array are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have here for loop, which is I see some comment. Okay, maybe it's not funny. Okay, so for loop here is starting from I equal to 0, and it will go till the last element here, because the index of the last element is 5. So the condition is I is less than equal to 5, and then we are implementing this index variable on every loop iteration. Now inside the for loop, there is only one statement. Because we have not put any curly braces here, so only the next statement is actually part of the for loop, and this printf is not part of the for loop. So here what we are doing is that before starting the for loop, we have initialized one variable named n equal to 1, and in every loop iteration we are going to take the current value of m, multiply it with uh, the value at that index I in the array num, and we will do this. And basically what it is doing, it is that 1 into 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6. That's what it is going to compute, and so that value actually is 720. Okay, so let's move on to problem number 9. So this is your program, and you are asked that what will be printed, and these are the options on the left hand side. Take some time and try to answer the question.
And nothing will be printed.
Okay. Any other answer?
Yes, no option 3.
Okay. Why is that?
It is because the array P will be started with the backslash 0, and when we will print it using printf, then it's terminated.
Okay. Okay. So is this clear to everyone, or do I need to explain it on the whiteboard? So here we are actually so P is the character array, which is initialized to assignment, and it will be terminated with a null character. So in the for loop, we have initialized this index variable j to string length of p. So string length of p is, let's say, how many characters does it have? I think it has 10 characters. So string length of p will be 10. Now what is p of 10? Like p, what is the 10th character? What is the character at index 10 in this array? So in this array, the character at index 10 is actually the null character, because indexing starts from 0. So since you have initialized j is equal to string length of p here, and then inside the for loop, what you're doing is that you're swapping the value at I index with the value at index j. So you will swap a with the null character, and therefore the resulting character array will be null character and then some value. So when you try to print that, it is not going to print anything, because the first character itself is the null character. So option C is correct. Okay, so then problem number 10. What will be the output of this program?
Compilation error.
Okay, any other answers? Okay, so the answer to this is option number C. It would not print anything, because in C you cannot use the equal operator to compare to arrays or to strings. If you try to compare two arrays with each other using the equal operator, So it will give you false here. Now why will it give false? So what is P? P is actually it's an address, right? It's an address to this array, which is welcome. First array. And Q is also the address to the second array. And those two values will definitely be different. They're not the same. They're two different memory locations in your program. So this will be false. And therefore it won't print anything. It's not a compilation error. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Any questions? Okay, if not, let's move to the programming questions, programming problems. So the first programming problem is that write a C program to find the sum of all elements of each row of a matrix. So what is a matrix? Matrix is actually a 2D array, a two-dimensional array. So it has rows and then there are columns. Columns are like 4, 6, 1. This is column 0, 5, 7, 2, column 1, 6, 3, column 2. Then what the program is asking you to do is that compute the sum of elements in each row. Like the first row, you are going to add all the values. 4 plus 5 plus 6 will give you 15. We are going to output that. Then do this again for the second row. 6 plus 7 plus 3, 16. Then third row, 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is 6. So you have to write a program to read this matrix and then to output the sum of each row. Is the question clear? Is the question clear? So there's a question in the chat box that if we do not consider about the address also, string comparison return 0 if both are equal. So string comparison return 0 if both are equal, that's true, but that's when you use the strcmp function, library function. Here we are not using any library function. We're using this equal operator. And the equal operator actually, as this comment is also saying this, that array comparison always evaluates to false. So here we are trying to it's not going to compare the entire string, like this character string for you. It's basically comparing these two address values, two variables, which is P and Q. These two addresses, which will be false. It is always going to be false if these are two arrays. Because two different arrays will have two different addresses. Now, is that clear? Okay. So is this question clear? We are looking at this question. Write a C program to find the sum of all elements of each row of a matrix. Rohit?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the question clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the question clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how will you do this?
Um, I can do it simply by using for loop.
Yeah.
For I is equal to 0, I less than say 3 and I plus plus, and we will use nested for.
Okay.
And for j is equal to 0, for j less than 3, j plus plus,
Yeah.
and we will, yes, and we use if statement if uh,
Okay.
when like everything.
You can tell me and I'll write on the white. Just give me 1 second. Okay, you were saying that first we have one for loop. I is equal to 0. I is less than, say, R or row if there are R if there are R rows and I plus plus, which is the first for loop. Then there is nested for loop, j equal to 0 and j is less than c, j plus plus, where c is the number of columns, right?
Yes, well, then we will use printer using variable sum. We can add and then print in the next after closing this j loop.
Where is this variable sum declared or initialized?
Above for loop, nested for loop.
The J1, I1, Jth or
Before j.
Before
Yeah,
J,
after that.
we are going to have here one variable sum. What should I do?
Sum is equal to 0, int sum is equal to 0.
Okay.
Yeah, and after for j, yes,
Yeah, here.
yes, we can use sum is equal to sum plus matrix. Matrix I,
Size
no, ij.
ij.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, but after closing the for loop, we can print this.
Yeah. So this will do. This will work.
Yeah.
So is this clear to everybody else? Is this clear to others? And just for the sake of completeness, I think we should also still have to read the matrix. Yeah. So here we are declaring a 2D array called matrix or self-linear and the elements in the array are of data type integer. Then here we are first reading R, which is the number of rows, and C, which is number of columns, and this is how we are going to read the matrix. So there are two nested for loops, and we use scanner to read the different elements of the matrix. Scanner will work fine if your input basically two different elements of the matrix will be separated by space. That will work fine. Here we are using ampersand, which is usually you use right when you're reading variables. So ampersand, it is the address of the element where you want to put the input character, not the character, input element. Now, so here one thing, you're reading the input in this order, row wise order. That is, first row is being read, then second row, and then third row. This is the row wise you are reading. And then this is the next part, the solution, where you have initialized one variable sum. Then you have first for loop, which is we are going over the rows. Then you initialize sum, it could be 0 here. Then you go over all the columns, and here you're basically adding the value of matrix at ij index with sum, and then you print it. Okay, so let's go to program number 2. So here you have to basically subtract two matrices. So write a C program to find subtraction of two matrices. So the two matrices will be of same size. Okay, it is that needed for subtraction. And so if the given matrices are 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 7, this is the first. This one is the first matrix, and the second one is 1, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4. And then you subtract matrix A minus matrix B. So 2 minus 1 will give you 1. 3 minus 5 will give you minus 2. 5 minus 2 will give you 3, and so on. So you have to compute this new matrix, where element in this new matrix is this is basically the subtraction of the corresponding two elements in matrix A and matrix B. Now you have to tell me that how you can do this. Can someone else try this time? It's very simple, similar to the last time, the program that we wrote last time. Very similar to that. So you just have to make a few changes here. So let's say that you have one matrix A, okay. Then you have one matrix B. I call them A, B, maybe. And then you have one output matrix C. And you have to do A minus E. C equal to A minus B. So let's assume that we have read matrix A, we have read matrix B, and we have to fill this matrix C now. Now, can you tell me that how will you fill the matrix?
By simply using nested for loop.
Yeah.
As we used previous.
Okay, let's write the code. Yeah. Yeah, so the first for loop, we are going to iterate over we are going to use it to iterate row wise. Second for loop, similar to previously, we are using to iterate over the column. So here, when we are here,
Cij is equal to
yeah, Cij is equal to
Aij minus Bij.
Aij yeah. So that's all we need to do here. Is there any question? Or is this clear? And then you can print the matrix C. If you just you don't even need to compute the matrix, you can just print it if you want. You can just print Aij minus Bij every time. Okay. Problem number 3. Okay, here the question is asking you to write a program to print lower triangle of a square matrix. Now, what's a lower triangle? So let's take this given input, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4, 5. This is your input. Then the lower triangle is this. Now what is the, you have to print these values as it is, and the rest of the values are 0. So your output which is expected is this is your output. This is your input. Now what is the property of these lower triangle elements?
And we can use the statement if I is less than j, then I is matrix I in for
Yeah. So the property that these elements have is this, that I is so I is what? I is the index of the row. This is I say, and this is say j. So the property is that I is less than equal to j. Okay. Like in this case, in this particular, if I write 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So if you will check for each element, here 0 is equal to 0. Here 1, this is I. No, I is greater. Yeah, I is greater. What's wrong with this? Yeah. So I is greater than equal to j for all the, we have to print all those elements. Like here, well, let's go over the first row. So for the first element here, I is 0, j is 0, 0 is greater than equal to 0, fine. We come to 3, here I is 0, 0 is greater than 1, no. So we will, it's false, so we are going to print here 0. And 0 is also not greater than 2. Here 1 is greater than 0, 1 is equal to 1, 1 is not greater than 2. So this is also not part of the lower triangle. In the last row, all the elements are part of the lower triangle because the row value is always greater than equal to the column value. So in the lower triangle, the property is that we are going to print all of the elements where the row index is greater than or equal to the column index. If it is not true, we'll print 0. And it's also okay if you don't print anything. So in the question, there is answer in the chat box. Yeah. So we can use an if loop. I is greater than equal to j. Printf. Can you correct your first print statement? I think there is a mistake there. Did you get to? There's a small error in the printf statement. So let's look at it on the whiteboard. So just going to write on the whiteboard here. So for, as before, first for loop is over the rows, I is less than r. Wait a second, wait to let it. For I is equal to 0, I is less than r, I plus plus. We're going over the rows. For j is equal to 0, j is less than 3, j plus plus. And then here we have one if condition. If I is greater than equal to j, then we can just print f percent again space and matrix I j L that so this is the this if you write this program and then you will print the lower triangle. Is this clear? Yeah, it's correct now. Okay. And I think this is clear to everyone. So let's move to yeah. So for a strictly lower triangle, if a strictly lower triangular matrix means that you print only the values which are where I is strictly greater than j, then you will print only 5, 4, 5. Only these values will be printed and others will also become 0. The diagonal will also become everything only below the triangle, sorry, below the diagonal will be printed. And in the if statement, we will omit this. Right. Okay, let's go to the next problem. This is the last problem. Here, the program is that, the question is that we have to write a program to print the largest and the smallest word of a given sentence. The largest and smallest in terms of the length of the word. So if there are 2 or more words of same length, then the first one is considered, and a single letter in a sentence is also considered a word of length 1. So test case here, you are given, like, let's say this is the input sentence, which is AICTE approved FTP course. So the largest word in this sentence is approved, which is of length, what, 8. Okay, and the smallest is FTP, which is of length 3. Now test case 2, problem solving through programming in C. So here the largest is programming and the smallest is C, which is of length 1 character. So you have to write a program to read the sentence, and then you have to go over this sentence and find the largest and the smallest word. So how will you do that? Is the problem clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So does anyone want to try? Okay. Mm, let's go to the whiteboard. But then maybe we have so the question is, I think, two parts. You have to, not two parts. You actually have to print the largest and the smallest word. If, let's say the problem is simpler and you only need to print the length of the largest word and the length of the smallest word, then how will you do it? You don't need to say which is the largest word or which is the smallest. You just tell what is the length of the largest word and what is the length of the smallest word. So this is your sentence. Then over here the answer will be largest 5 and smallest 2. Can we solve that? And first, okay, how will you read such an input?
By using scanner. Or
Scan it. Okay, what will be the format?
we have to read 4 seconds.
Yeah,
Then we can use getters as it is simple compared to scanner.
yeah. So we can use getters because it will read until it sees a mainline character. So that will be easier. And okay. So once we have read it, and let's say we read it and we store it in some character array. Line and column. The length is 100 characters can be there, and then we will get it. This will this we can use to read the input. Now what is your next? What do you want to do next? You want to find the words in this line, right? That's the next thing. Find words in given sentence. Now what is a word? And how can you identify different words? Basically, how can you identify different words?
When we encounter first white space.
Yeah, whenever we encountered any white space, then we will start recording another word. So words are separated with white spaces. So we have to record all of these words. So let's say we now want to store the words. So for that, what we can do is we can create another array, which is two-dimensional here actually. Which is saying, so it will be like this. Okay, this is word 0, word 1. So this is the words 2D array. So why two-dimensional? Because a word can have many characters. So we need so each word is what? Each word is a single array, and we can have many such arrays because a sentence has many words. So we need a collection of arrays, right? One single array. Your original sentence is one single array, and you can't. So to store the words, we need a collection of arrays. So here we are using a two-dimensional array in which each row is your different word. Okay, so for the given input here, this words array will look something like this. Lake is salty. So this will be your words 2D array that you want to create. Now how can you create this? You're given this words, you have this words, how can you fill it like so that you get this output? So you have to go over your original array. Okay, so what will be the logic? It's something like,
By using nested loop.
yeah, you can use, yeah, nested loop you need to use because you need to traverse this and fill it. You need nested loop. So in I and j, let's use two variables here. Okay, what is I? I is the row in this 2D array and j is the column in this 2D array. Now words right. So now here we need one for loop, not loop for loop. We need one basically we need to traverse this and fill this array. Okay, now how we will, so therefore we need one more iterator here. Two are not enough. We need one more iterator, k. So k is used to iterate over the sentence. And I and j are used to iterate over the words to the array. Now here we are going to say while line, if this is the original line k is not equal to null. Okay, we are going to do something. What are you doing here? You have to initialize okay. Before entering this, here you initialize I is equal to 0, k equal to 0. while line k is not equal to null character. Now again you can write one more while loop, while line k is not equal to space. If it is not space, then you can write word I j. You will initialize j equal to 0 here. G plus plus is equal to line k. Okay. And as soon as you are going over the line input using the k as point k index pointer, and you're checking if this is blank. If this is not blank, then you're going to take that character and you're going to add that character in the words array, words I array, the ith word basically. Okay, and as soon as you see there is a blank, we will come out of this while loop. Here you are going to do I plus plus, because now we want to find the next word. You have already found one word. Okay, then after that k also needs to be incremented. Check the button here. And plus plus. So k will also be incremented on every iteration, and so in this iteration we come out here, and this was blank. So now we will again go to the while loop. We will check, and here actually if it is blank or it is actually a null character. So we will keep adding only till the kth character is neither blank nor null character. If it is null character also, then we need to break. So if it is neither of these, then we write. So let's say it was blank, then we will come out, then we will go back to the while loop. We check that, okay, this is not a null, so that means there is another word, and here we are going to increment the value of k. We need to increment the value of 0, so that we should do plotting. So we started from k equal to 0 here. We have to check for k. So where should we put that? Any idea? Are you able to follow this? If we encounter a null, we increment the count. We have to check it. So we have so first we have I equal to 0, k equal to 0, line of k, which is line of 0 not equal to null, then we go inside where j is equal to 0. So we are trying to fill the first word, let's say. Then line k, which is 0th element, is not equal to blank and not equal to null. Then we write that element in the words I, and we increment j, we increment k, and then we will do this until either it is blank or it is null. Let's say it is blank, then we come out here and then do I plus plus. And now here I think we should do have a if statement after this, that if then we can do k plus plus. Okay. This is assuming that there are not like what to say, like redundant white spaces, blanks, or you can like write here while also if your input can have many white spaces. So I'm assuming that there is only one blank space between two words. So given that, then we do here k plus plus. So we come here, and if the next character is not null, then we will again j will become 0, and then we can start reading. So how will this work for the lake? I mean the given input. Okay, so for this input, where is k? K is here. Okay. So first, when we go over the while loop here, k is 0, so line of 0 is L is not equal to null. So we initialize, let's write it here, I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. Okay. Alright, so write it there. This is your words array that you're trying to fill. It is I is equal to 0. You're filling the jth, sorry, ith list. So j is equal to 0 and so on. So line of 0 is not equal to blank. It's also not equal to null. So you write words I, j plus plus. So I is 0, j is 0. So 0, 0 will be line k. Line k is L. So it will be L. After that, j will become 1, k will become 1. And then you go over here, which is A. So not null, not blank. You come back and you write here A. And then j will become 2, k will become 2. So you go back, it's k. So you write k. And then similarly you write e. Now when you encounter a blank, you come here. The while loop says that okay, it's a blank. So the condition will be false. So condition becomes false. You increment I. Now I will be 1. You want to write the next word. Then after that you check, okay, if line k is a blank, then just increment k. So now your k will be here. So next time you go to the first outermost while loop where you're checking, okay, line k is not equal to null. No, it's not. So you can re-enter and you can start reading the next word. So in this fashion, like using this type of code, you can fill in the words. Okay, once you have this 2D array, using, let's say you wrote this code, you have this 2D array, you can just go over each row, count the number of characters in each row, and you should actually add a null terminator also over here, because otherwise you will not find. Which you can do here. And that is right words agility. So then you can just count the length of each string, and you can print the string which has the largest number of characters and the string which has the lowest. Can you what do you think? So how can you do that? Is the first part clear? Now which solution? So do you want me to show the solution before explaining? But this is like the code that I wrote to explain. Okay, we can go over the code which is there. It is a little different actually. So here we have the original string str, which is of length 100, and initialize every character with 0. And then we have substrings, basically the words, which I call it words. So here we are trying to find all of the words. So it's a two-dimensional array. Okay. Here you are taking the input sentence using this format. So using this format specifier, you can read all the characters under the new line. Okay. Then here we have three iterator variables, I, j, k, where k is used to iterate over the original sentence and I and j are used to iterate over the substring. And let's ignore these variables for now, and then there's the characters. The first for loop here, while loop, is we are saying that okay, let's go over the first sentence and we'll keep iterating till we see a null character. Then we have j equal to 0, which is saying that okay, in the ith word we are currently at the 0th position, and we are iterating over the original sentence again from index k until we see that the character is neither a blank nor a null terminator. Here in the solution there is some dot also, which I did not use because that actually depends on the input. Like if dot, it can be a delimiter, then dot also there. And then we are adding string k here, and we're incrementing k and j. And then after this, here we are null terminating the words, and then we are incrementing I, because next we go to the next word, and here we have this if condition, which is checking that if it is null, then we increment with the, if it is not null, it's a blank, I use the blank, where it's saying if it is not null, then k plus plus. It should be actually blank, it will be same because it will be blank anyways, blank or a dot in this case. And then k plus plus, and then you go back to the while. So it's essentially the same. We are trying to construct that words 2D array, and after that, what you're going to now so this is the, so till now we have actually split the original sentence into words. Now the solution is still not complete, so now you need to compute, you need to find out that which of these words is the largest and which of these words is the smallest. Now how do you find something which is largest or smallest in an array of elements? In general, if it is an integer array, then how will you find it? It's similar to that basically, because you can consider this now as an array. This is nothing but an array actually now, where each element is the length of the corresponding string. It's actually this array now, 4, 3, 5. Now you have to find which is the largest, which is the smallest, and corresponding to that you have to print that particular word. Okay, so moving on to the solution. Okay, so here let's say maximum, we are initializing the max and the min. These are two variables which we are going to use to keep track of the max and minimum so far that we have seen in the list of the words. So max is initialized to the string length of the first word, and min is also initialized to the string length of the first word. Now we are going to go over every word. So len means there are len words in this set, and for every ith word we are going to compute its length, which is string length. And if the string length is greater than the current max, then we are going to update the current max, and we are going to set the index of the maximum word as I. And if the current word length is less than the minimum, then we are going to update the minimum length, and we are going to update the index of the minimum element, which is I. Finally, when we have iterated over all the words in this using this for loop, we are going to go here and we'll use the max index and the min index to print the corresponding words, the corresponding largest and the smallest word. So is this clear, or you want me to write this on whiteboard? Okay. Okay, so then okay, so we have only these many questions. Does anyone have any doubt? Okay. Okay, thanks everyone. If there are no doubts, then we can close the session now. I'll stop the recording.